Ever wondered why the loaf of bread in your pantry stays fresh for weeks, while the homemade one barely lasts a few days? The secret lies in the world of preservatives, but more on that later. Bread making, especially on an industrial scale, is a fascinating process that combines the art of baking with science. The journey from grain to loaf involves a multitude of steps, each as crucial as the next. It all begins with the harvesting of wheat. Once the wheat is harvested, it's sent off to the mill where it's ground into flour. This flour then undergoes a process of sieving to separate the bran from the endosperm, resulting in the fine white flour that's commonly used in bread. Next, the flour is mixed with water, yeast, and salt to form a dough. The yeast, a type of fungus, is the magical ingredient that makes the dough rise. It does this by feeding on the sugars in the flour and releasing carbon dioxide gas, which gets trapped in the dough, causing it to inflate. Then comes the process of kneading. This is where the gluten in the flour gets activated, creating a network of elastic strands that give the bread its structure and texture. After kneading, the dough is left to rest and rise, a process known as proofing. This typically takes a few hours, but in an industrial setting, it can be sped up with the use of proofing cabinets that maintain an optimal temperature and humidity. Once the dough has doubled in size, it's shaped into loaves and sent off to the oven. The heat of the oven causes the yeast to work overtime, creating more carbon dioxide and causing the bread to rise even further. This is also when the crust forms, turning a golden brown due to the Maillard reaction, a chemical reaction between amino acids and reducing sugars. Now remember those preservatives we mentioned earlier. This is where they come into play. To extend the shelf life of bread, manufacturers often add preservatives such as calcium propionate or sorbic acid. These substances inhibit the growth of molds and bacteria, allowing the bread to stay fresh for longer. In conclusion, the process of making bread in the industry is a complex dance of chemistry and biology, made even more intriguing by the use of preservatives to extend its shelf life. So the next time you bite into a slice of bread, remember the journey it has taken from the wheat fields to your plate.